Y'all didn't know that I was going to do more than one video today, but I've got a couple of things that I need to tell you all about. And the first one that I want to tell you about is some good news. Now, I've got a piece of candy in my mouth because my throat is so dry, but the first thing that I want to talk to y'all about, some of y'all know that my husband is pastor of our church, and I am the pianist at our church, and we sing lots of different things going on there. Also, my husband's very sick right now. We just found out that he may have a major problem in his back that could potentially require surgery. And then we also found out that his heart is skipping every other beat. So we don't know what's causing that right now. So he's going through a bunch of tests to find out what's going on. So I would ask all of you that believe in prayer to be praying for him and pray for me as I take care of him. But that being said, I've thought about this for a few days in that I am a born-again Christian. And so I wanted to just give you all just a verse that's always been really special to me. Actually, it's two verses, but they're short. This is in the book of John, where everybody knows what John 3:16 is. But this is the book of John, the very first chapter of John. And it's verse 11 and 12 says, "He came into his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name." For years, I would look at that and I would think, received. And then one day I was reading, I don't even remember what I was reading, and somebody pointed out that in older times when wealthier people had a butler and somebody knocked on the door, that butler would answer the door, and if they asked for the man or the woman of the house, that butler would say, "Let me see if they are receiving today." And so then he would go and ask, if they wanted to see whoever was at the door. But in this verse, it says, "as many as received him." That word received is talking about inviting him. And where are you inviting him to? You're inviting him into your life. And when you do that, you're saying, "I'm inviting you to guide me, to direct me. I'm inviting you because I believe in who you are." The gospel in the Bible, the absolute, what the gospel is the death, the burial, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And so we have to believe that he died and was buried and rose again. And then we can invite him in to our lives, into our heart. The heart of man that is who he is. That is your personality. That's your actions. That's what the heart is. And so when you receive Jesus Christ when you invite him in, you're inviting him to direct your life. You're inviting him to be the king, to be really the master over your life. So I'm going to stop right there today. I may do this again sometime as the Lord leads me. But the topic that I wanted to talk to you all about today, and this is going to be pretty quick, I think, is how you can save thousands of dollars on your grocery bill every year. And the very first way that I save money on my groceries is by buying in bulk. When you buy larger bags of flour, larger bags of sugar, And, you know, if you buy from co-ops and places like that, then you can get 25 and 50 pounds at a time and bring it home and put it in jars if you have to. Put it in buckets and Mylar bags so that you can, you know, preserve it. Make sure that you've got a way to protect that investment. And then when you're shopping, another way that you can save a lot of money is by thinking long term. By thinking, you know, and that's part of bulk buying also, but when you're shopping and when you're cooking, think long term. Like, if I'm going to fix chicken one night, I may make fried chicken, and then I may cook enough fried chicken and buy a family pack, even though it's only 2 of us here. But I may buy a big family pack and make fried chicken with it, and then I can take that, what's left over of that fried chicken, and make chicken salad or a chicken casserole, any number of things. I can put that in the freezer to pull out another day. Just lots of ways if you think long term, and that will eliminate waste. You know, lots of people say, well, I don't eat leftovers. Well, don't eat it just like it was. Think about how you can remake it. I would, you know, like to make a pot of pinto beans in the wintertime. We love a big pot of pinto beans with some cornbread and some greens and some different things like that with it. But we don't usually want to eat it more than a day or two. So if I have, excuse me, if I have a lot left over, then I will turn that pot of pinto beans into chili. And you can do that by just adding some onions and some seasoning, some peppers. Y'all excuse me, my throat is so dry right now. It's allergy season for me. So anyway, and then like if you're going to buy ketchup and mustard, things that don't even need refrigeration, and they're long-term, they're long, you know, shelf-stable for a long period of time, don't buy those little bitty 16-ounce bottles. Get the biggest one you can get. It'll save you more in the long run. Watch the prices and make sure, because sometimes they put those little ones on sale. But check the per ounce price and get the one that is going to save you the most money. And then I touched on this already, and this is to have good food storage. You know, whether that's glass storage with a good locking seal or freezer. If you have to use your canning jars for storage, you know, use some canning jars for storage. But make sure that everything's airtight so that, you know, you don't have to worry about pests getting to your food. And then this one is a big one. And I learned this years ago. Yesterday, I had to go to Knoxville. I had a doctor's appointment. And when I got out of the doctor's appointment, I thought, I want a cup of coffee. Well, there was a Dutch Brothers coffee just a block away from my doctor's office. I'd never been to Dutch Brothers before and probably won't ever go again. The coffee was not as good as what I can make at home. And for a small, and I mean a little small cup of coffee was $6.30. And I figured that up. If I did that every day for a year, it would be $2,268 a year. Think about what, you know, when you're out like that. Like, I mean, if I'd thought about it before I left, I've got a big thermos that's got a, you know, the sippy thermos. I could have taken a cup of coffee with me and it would have still been hot. And so, and the other thing on that one is lunch. If you work outside the home, take your lunch. This is another thing. When I had to take my husband to see a cardiologist last week, and we stopped on the way back because it had been a long half a day already. We stopped to get food. we've done this twice actually. One time we just stopped at Hardee's, and my goodness, it was like $30 or $35 for the two of us to eat a meal at Hardee's. And then another time we stopped at IHOP because he had like a more early morning appointment, and so we didn't eat breakfast before we left, and it was almost $50. Probably by the time we left the tip, it would have been every bit of $50 for the two of us to eat what I could have made for probably $6 or $8. So, make it at home if you can. I know there's times when you can't, you have to eat out. But if you plan ahead and plan right, you can. And then the next thing on this list and this will save you, this will be a little bit of an investment, but I have learned through the years that you can do this, and that is to buy cookbooks and practice. Learn new kitchen skills. Learn to make things that you would have to buy. I've shown y'all recently my how I do my homemade yogurt. My goodness, that is saving me a fortune because all I have to do is buy half a gallon of milk. And, I do buy good organic milk, which is about $6, I think, for a half a gallon. But it might not even be that much. Maybe I'd have to look and see. But anyway, it's a little more expensive than your, just regular store brand milk. But if I'm going to eat yogurt, I want it to be, from a good source. But that lasts me all week, sometimes 7 or 8 days for that amount of yogurt. And before, those little yogurt cups that I was buying, they were like $1.50 or $1.60 a piece for the sugar-free. And so you figure it up. If I was doing that for 8, that would be $12. So I'm cutting the cost per week in half just by making my own yogurt. And so learn some new skills in the kitchen. And then another one, my husband still thinks he has to have bottled water. And I used to carry bottled water around with me all the time because I'll drink, 6 to 8 bottles of water a day. But drinking it at 6 bottles of water a day for the brand that we buy, just because I started filtering my own water, is saving me $340 a year. No, wait a minute. That's $540 a year. Just for one of us. Think about if you've got a family of 4 or 6 or whatever, and what you would save just on bottled water. I've got, you saw it, my big bottle of water here. I've got more than one of those bottles, and I've filled those suckers up. I mean, I can put 2 bottles of water in that one. And and if you have to, once figure this stuff up, and then if you have to make an initial investment for a good coffee maker, if you need bowls with good lock-in lids on them to keep food fresh, or if maybe you need half-gallon jars that you can vacuum seal. It might even need a vacuum sealer that will fit down over the jars like I've shown you all. I'm going to do a video, hopefully this week. I have 3 different kinds of vacuum sealers, and I want to show you all the difference and why I've got 3 different kinds, because they all will do different things. And then I've got a Berkey water filtration system. At the time I bought it, I think I paid like $250 for it. Well, it's paid for itself more than twice in 1 year, and I've been using it. The filters in it will last me 2 or 3 years. So, in fact, I just changed. When I bought it was 4 years ago, and I just changed the filters on it about 6 months ago. So, and I use it for a lot of my cooking, some of my canning, and then of course I use it for drinking. I use it for my water pick that I brush my teeth with, or that I clean my teeth with. I mean, I use it for a lot of things. And so it's been a huge savings for me. So anyway, I hope that this video finds all of y'all well today, and put some things into practice that I've given you here today. If you've got things that you've done that has saved you a lot of money like this, please put them in the comments. I'm still learning. I know I'm getting up there close to 70 years old, but I'm still learning how to save money. And the way that grocery prices are right now, and that's something else I read, is that they're still saying that groceries are going to go up even more. And so, we have to save every way that we can. And stocking food by buying in bulk and not having, throwing away your leftovers, that's the best ways to save money. And if you go back to and learn what they did during the Depression time, I mean, they saved every way that they can. They reused everything. So I'm going to end it right there. Like I said, I hope this video finds all of y'all well and in good spirits, in good health, just happy. So until the next time, God bless you.